to Savannah's Crystal Reiki Healing. I'm Erin, and today in these daily investigations, we're going to go through 4 kinds of readings. We're going to begin this entire journey with numerology to tarot, along the journey of the Fool, because as we go throughout our lives, reaching and grasping as we do, we're all fools to some degree or another. The second reading that I've got is going to be a 3-card draw. Just a quick, more psychological check-in to help us better understand the path that we find ourselves walking down today. The third reading is going to be bringing all of this back in together into the numerology journey of the Fool to figure out why this part of the journey is so important, and in context, what can we learn from this? And then for the 4th reading, we've got an angel card for you. Not everything is doom and gloom. We've got to have something to hold on to that can inspire us to hope, give us a reason to dare to hope. And with that hope, we can go throughout the day knowing that perhaps at the end of the tunnel there is some light and we will be okay. So, have you had your food? Have you had your water? And are you taking care of yourself? You're going to need to, as we dive deep and peer into the depths of our own shadows just to see what dwells down there. Be brave. Be brave enough to do this with me. So. Oh, and as for the legals, all of this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's add a few additional steps that most of the time I've been leaving off camera. We're going to begin by lighting a candle. A candle is one way that you can focus your intentions. Orange happens to be more representative of creativity. And as we go through all of this, whilst beginning with the numerology to tarot, it's a wee bit more numerical and mathematical. It's still a form of creativity. So we're going to light this candle after we invoke our deities and who we would like to see here to help us throughout this entire process. For me, it just happens to be Hecate. I invite you, Hecate. Lend me your guidance, lend me your strength, so that I may learn what I need to learn today, in wisdom and in peace. Let's go ahead and put that candle down. Now, for the other part, a bit more fun, because you get to burn things, not just a candle. You see, I have a lovely sigil here. It's one of my personals for clarity. So let us go ahead and recite this 3 times. With this sigil I have here, do I seek clarity of direction and wisdom? Fold 1. Fold 2. With this sigil drawn here, do I seek clarity of wisdom and direction? One more time. With this sigil drawn here, do I seek wisdom? Do I seek clarity of wisdom and direction? And because I'm going to put this in a cauldron, but I want it to burn, tweezers. And we light it using the candle that we just lit. I offer this up to you, Hecate, or the deity of your choice. Let my desire to learn what I need fuel you and fuel this reading. Let me learn what I am to learn so that I may continue through this day. So now I just let it burn all the way through, to which we're almost done. But most of the time, at this point, we would just begin anyway. Starting with numerology to tarot, we have the 3rd of December. Starting with the numerology to tarot, we've got the 3rd of January 2025. Let's go ahead and break it all down here, as you see, to which we have 4. The Emperor. The Emperor. The Emperor. Ready or not, here we are. Are you ready for this mantle of leadership? You're wise in everything that you do as a leader. You're compassionate. Are you the ruler? Are you the king? Are you the emperor? Or are you a steward who manages all the resources? Manage them well today. We're going to need that. You inspire everyone in your kingdom to be the best that they could possibly be. And you do so not just with wisdom, not just with justice, not just with compassion, but you also do this by listening to your advisors and the people who are more in the know when it comes to certain things. So you are the emperor today. You are a wise and just leader today. We continue along into the 3-card draw. We've got just a 3-card draw today, to which we're going to begin with what was. This is where we are coming from in either a physical position, a situation, or our emotional well-being, our motivations. This is where we're coming from, to which we have the 3 of Swords reversed. It was all a misunderstanding. I was being needlessly cruel. It wasn't just needlessly cruel. Some of these things that were said did need to be said, and you got them out of the way. In your mind, you were just speaking your mind. To others, you were being needlessly cruel. There may have been a miscommunication there to be had. Well, if you are being needlessly cruel whilst saying everything that you need to say, now would be a good time to make amends. In order to do that, you're going to need to soften your heart. In order to do that, you're going to need to start inviting love and compassion. Being that just ruler, not for everyone else. No, you're focusing on the wrong thing. It needs to start here. You are being needlessly cruel. There may have been a miscommunication, yourself to yourself, others to yourself, in regards to yourself. Now it is time to make amends, and now it is time to take that step forward. You need to do so by softening your heart. Have a kind and tender heart today, because having that soft heart is the only way that you're going to be able to move forward in the days ahead in a way that is far more productive. Because if you're only going to go through and be needlessly cruel, you're going to become far more alone and far more devastated than you need to be. And it's going to be absolutely needless. What is the 7 of Cups reversed? All of the opportunities before you only cause confusion. You are distracted by the unrealistic and overlook the obvious. You may be hoping for an easy way out of an unhappy life, instead of a viable choice. Lack of clarity only breeds fear. We fear the unknown, we fear the unexpected, and we fear change, even though it's a universal constant. So, I believe yesterday it was mentioned that you are going to need to make a choice in the clarification. You still do need to make that choice, but you're thinking about it too much. The answer was mentioned yesterday. The rational choice, the one that makes sense, the one that you can see, and it is a reasonable future. It is a reasonable outcome. That is the choice that you need to take. Not all of them are going to cause confusion. Only the ones that promise you the world on a silver platter with no real regards on how to go from point A to point Z. So, you still need to make that choice, but you're confused. There's nothing wrong with being confused. There's nothing wrong with admitting it to others, but most importantly, to ourselves. For the possibility of what may be in the days ahead, we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. This person focuses on whatever is most important to them and is often a workaholic. No one really minds because they are usually boring. Because they are incredibly stubborn, they will never give up on something, even if they should. This card can represent fast-moving events related to professions, wealth, or resources. To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield is one of my personal goals and mottos in my life. To try and to try and to try and to try and to try until something sticks, something lands. It sounds noble. Under Einstein's definition of insanity, I am quite mad, because I am constantly doing the exact same thing, hoping that something sticks. This is not spaghetti. Change it up. And I'm being quite stubborn. One would say I have a good work ethic. Another would say I'm just being tenacious. Another methodical. But no matter how many ways you go ahead and you slice this, we are walking into essentially driving ourselves into a brick wall over and over and over again, hoping that we might actually crash through the wall and not just into it. We can either go ahead and say, ow, this hurts, after we hit it, and then decide not to do it again because it's futile. Or we're going to keep running into that brick wall over and over and over again until we beat ourselves into a pulp and into submission. And even at that, if I'm reading this card right, we may not actually get the point either. So now let's bring all of this back into the journey of the Fool and why this particular position of the Emperor is so important. The Emperor is more willing to listen to their advisors to help him or them or her off in any particular situation that they may feel stuck in. The Emperor may be the leader here, but they don't know everything. No one can ever know everything there is to know in the universe. Answer one question and a million more pop up. Answer one of those million that popped up and a million more will pop up out of that one. So, you need to have a tender heart. This is where we're coming from. The choices are confusing, but perhaps we don't exactly understand what it is that we're looking at, and we don't exactly understand what it is that is required of us. If we continue along the lines of the 3-card read, we're just going to keep bashing into a brick wall over and over and over again until we are nothing. Take a step back, change your position, change your perspective here and ask the important questions of your trusted friends. Again, the choice that we suggested for you to make yesterday is for you and you alone. We suggested that you don't do this for anyone else with anyone else in mind, only for you. But you're still confused here. What do you need to do? How do you need to do it? What's going on here? Alright, fine. Go ahead and ask the important and the relevant question. Perhaps of someone who knows you the best. Perhaps a lover. Perhaps your mother. Perhaps your father. But whatever it is, it feels like a learning experience and something that you can grow with. So, don't be afraid to, in this confusion, find your trusted person and ask the important question. Who, what, when, where, why? How do I proceed? Let's go ahead and wrap up this entire read-in. Strength. Strength comes from your connection to the root of your being. Are you indeed confused? Are you indeed unsure? Or, as we said yesterday, when it comes to make a choice, use your brain, use your logic, use your reasoning. The practical and the pragmatic choice here is going to be the right one for you. It's going to take a wee bit of work, but that might only be a few seconds or a few minutes out of a day. It's going to be worth it in the end because you've done the work to build it. Everything else seems too lavish to be good. And if you already get that impression just looking at it, then it probably is too good to be true. Too lavish to be good. So, on the one hand, trust yourself. It seems reasonable, it seems rational, it's your first choice, but is it really just that easy? Oftentimes it is. So, again, strength comes from your connection to the root of your being. Who, what, when, where, why are you? What are you looking for? What do you want? If you're looking for a message of hope, if I may introduce you to the reflection in a mirror, because that person right there in a mirror that stares back at you is the only person that can offer you the hope that you need in the way that you need it. No one else can. I can't. No one can. Only you can. Because whilst you may be out here looking at all these other people, looking for inspiration, looking for advice, looking for guidance, looking for counseling, looking for all of these things, you may get all these things, but it isn't until you decide to take a step, you decide to take any form of first step in any direction, that hope, that inspiration, that creativity is going to be built for you in the first place. It starts with you, not them. And that is our reading for the day. I certainly hope that you enjoyed it, because I absolutely enjoy making these things too. Let's go ahead and let's douse our candle for the day, which is going quite strong. Thank you for being here. Thank you for lending me your guidance, your strengths, and your wisdom in these readings today. There. If you like this video, go ahead and click all the buttons down below. Like this video if there was something in here for you. Subscribe to the channel if you like what I do here. And share this video if you think your family, your friends, or perhaps your enemies may find a message in here that could potentially help them. Like, click all the buttons down below. I have my website, I have my partner's website. My website happens to have a full catalog of everything that I do. It happens to have an update section which details what it is I'm doing with my services, what are my services, what's going on with the hours, along with are there any events that I'm getting ready to go to. My sister's site with Yoga with Dylan, she is a yoga instructor. She is just starting off, but she is phenomenal. She also does tarot reads, she does pendulum reads, she does scrying, and other forms of divination that I'm not too really knowledgeable about, honestly. But she does it for divination purposes, unlike me, who does all this for psychology reasons. So, if that is more in line with what you are into, go ahead and check her out. Not going to be offended. Also, for a few dollars, and if you're interested, go ahead and subscribe to my Patreon for a few bucks a month. What you get by being a patron is you get to become part of the conversation. Right now there's only one tier. I don't exactly offer anything for free on Patreon specifically. I do that here on YouTube. I'll do that on Facebook, and I'll do that in other areas. But for Patreon, I will give you the exclusive behind the scenes. I will give you the newsletter and blogs. I will give you the breakdowns, and eventually I'll get that Discord up and running, where you get to become part of the conversation, and every one of my subscribers on Patreon will be listed as a contributor on this video and everything else that I do. Become a part of the conversation. Become a part of the creative process. Don't just be a passive observer looking at this just to be entertained, but become a part of the conversation. But with all that being said, I'm going to take my coffee. I'm going to take a giant slurp of it, and I will see you